Damn it, man, it didn't work. Hold up. No? Hello, focus. There you go. Anyways, 4 days ago, I opened Visual Studio for the first time in ages because I've been modeling for I think a year now. Trying to make one character, by the way. Not multiple models, no. Just one character. 4 days ago, when I opened Visual Studio, I was like, I'm gonna learn C++ because Unreal Engine with blueprints is just messy and it doesn't feel nice. It doesn't feel like I'm making it. I basically had no experience in C++ because I mean, I've worked on Roblox and Python, C Sharp, Unity, but C++, I've feared it. I've seen videos of people doing C++, and in my eyes, C++ looked like some impossible language. But when I got in 4 days ago, C++ was literally just English. The first version of Veil Leveling was literally just a simple game. I mean, it said that your heart would stop in 0.02 seconds and you could accept or decline. And at first, it was a bit difficult. I'm gonna be honest, it was a little bit difficult to, get the grasp of the yes and no question, the inputs, but I kind of learn it, alright? Even today, after 4 days, I'm still a little bit iffy on inputs, but hey. But yeah, it was just literally just, your heart's gonna stop. Would you like to become a player? Input your name. And then you could explore, go to a city, forest, or cave, and then you could, enter a gate, which was chance. Chance? Is that how you say in English? I've been in Turkey for ages now. Anyways, yeah, a chance-based game. I mean, gate. But yeah, then it would summon random enemies, and enemies in gates were based on the area the gate was in. And that part was hellish to make because I had to learn how to use arrays and all that type of stuff. And then I went on to make inventories. And with inventories, I like I've tried to make inventories so many times, and every single time in like Unity or like, in Roblox kind of. Roblox already has an inventory, but more complicated version of inventories. And in Unreal, I've died trying to make inventories. But in C++, making an inventory was as simple as just putting items inside of arrays. That's the simplest way I can explain it. But yeah, I mean, it was really easy. The combat system started off as just basic. You can attack, you can guard to reduce damage by 50%, and you can use a health potion. And it was really basic, like way too basic. So then I was like, how can I make this combat more entertaining? I mean, enemies have chance based, attacking, guarding, and healing, but how can I make it more fun? And then I got the idea of heavy attacks that can miss. A completely chance based combat system. You can pop a heavy attack, get 2 times damage, but if you're low health and you use a heavy attack and you miss it, then you're done. You're getting killed. And that brought a sense of I can easily kill someone and maybe I'm low health and I don't have enough normal attack damage to one shot the enemy, but if I use a heavy attack, then it's enough. Then you pop the heavy attack, and if you land it, then there you go, you one shot your enemy. But if you miss it, now you're dead. So then that brought on the exploration. The combat was kind of done. I mean, like Gates, it had one enemy, you beat the enemy, you get rewards, but it was fairly simple. Gates didn't have any rewards for completing them, literally just nothing. Gates would just kill one enemy, you're done. But then I was like, how can I make this more entertaining to explore? Because sometimes gates don't spawn, right? So then I got the idea of corrupt hunters. Hunters that want to kill you because they enjoy it, right? So whilst you're in an area exploring, a random hunter near your level, right, can just pop up and be like, you shouldn't have become a hunter. Now I'm gonna kill you. And you just fight that guy and get rewards for it. is the extra sense of I don't want to do gates anymore. I want to fight other hunters. I want to kill. You crazy person. What the hell? Why are you killing people? Anyways, um, yeah. Then that lasted it was kind of fun for a bit. But then, like, it just got boring. So then I started writing down my notes. Instead of on Trello like I usually do for my other projects, I was like, you know what? Let me just write at the bottom of the script. Because it's just one file for every single piece of code, right? So what's gonna happen? I just have all my notes at the bottom as comments, and yeah, anytime I want to access something, I just got it. And then I started writing down stuff like instead of gates having one enemy, a gate can have a random amount of enemies each time. And then I was like, wait, but that's not enough. Where's the boss? And then I was like, add bosses that drop custom weapons 100% of the time. You don't have to be like, I have to kill this boss 100 times because it's all random. There's 6 different enemies and 6 different bosses per area, right? And then I was like, wait, but like this is not fun enough. So then I was like, what if I add training to the game? Make it so that you can become overpowered, one shot everyone without even leveling up. You're level 1, but you just train and train and train, and then bang, you're suddenly at like 1000 strength, or obviously not that much. I don't think anyone's sitting down pressing Z, X, and C for hours on end. But you get 100. You one shot basic enemies, you level up way faster. And as you're leveling up, since you have training stats already, leveling up becomes way easier, it becomes more straightforward rather than, struggling in fights to level up. And that was a bit boring, right? So with training, I decided let's make quick time events. So I decreased the stats that you get from training even more. And the amount of like stamina you have in a training session was random. So you could either only do one quick time event or it could be 10. And that was a bit odd. So I just decided let's make it 10 just to avoid having to continuously press, the training button. And then it still wasn't enough, so I moved on to bosses. And at first, I had the idea of, just Strap's boss randomly pops up. But then I thought maybe I could make it more, entertaining with words. And I was like, let's say boss room. Yeah, sure. It helps with the code as well. I don't say enter boss because what the hell? Enter boss, what are you doing? But yeah, I was like, just enter the boss room. And after you beat all the enemies in the gate, the boss room has been entered. You kill the boss and you get the boss's weapon, which has significantly higher damage than any other weapon. Which, when I say any other weapon, I mean a starter sword. That's the only other weapon in the game. Yeah, the bosses, they just dropped 6 things. Every single area has 6 bosses. And then that still wasn't enough because gates, okay, yeah, sure. But then what about dungeons? Hear me out. Dungeons are the same as gates. They're literally a copy. Only difference is they don't have area specified bosses. They have 6 enemies and 6 bosses. Like normal. But their multipliers on their stats compared to you is significantly higher. For example, the final boss of a dungeon, the highest level boss, is 40 times stronger than you. Yeah, think about that. 40 times your strength. Let's say you're a level 1 and for some reason you go into a boss. I don't know why you'll do that in a dungeon or a dungeon. You start with one dungeon key, right? And you decide, let me just go into a dungeon, waste my dungeon key and get one shot, right? So you go into a dungeon and you're like, okay, I'm level 1, I have no stats, I have a starter sword. And if you didn't equip it, if you didn't check your inventory and equip your starter sword, you have your fist. And I've never fought with a fist. I've never tried it. I don't know if it's broken. You know what? Thinking of that, I should try that. But like, yeah, you go in and the boss is 40 times stronger than you. I mean, yeah, it drops the strongest weapon in the game. Like, let me check how much it was. It's 230 damage. Yeah, 230 damage for the strongest weapon in the whole entire game. 230 extra. So let's say you have 100 strength, you do 330 now. So yeah. I mean, near end game is kind of, useless. I'll probably add more weapons later and more bosses and enemies, but right now that's all it does. And yeah, what was I saying? Oh yeah, and the boss is 40 times stronger than you. So like you're a level 1, the boss is level 40. What the hell? I'm going to get murdered. I'm going to get obliterated. All right? And obviously it won't always be level 40, maybe it will be above because the difficulty of enemies is also based on chance. Like based on your player level, the enemies get scaled. That's why training to, increase your strength early on while being a level 1 is just overpowered. And I'm not fixing that because I'm lazy. If I ever play my own game, I want to train the whole day, one shot everyone, get level 1 million, and then cut. Like, come on, genius. But yeah, and then dungeons were just really that. You just give it a dungeon key and you fight through specified enemies, just like in Gates. Significantly harder Gates. Basically, that's all dungeons are. But yeah, and then death. The game has no saving right now. I'm gonna code it today, but like the game has no saving. So I was like, okay, I'm gonna be stupid real quick and fight this really strong guy. Oh no, I died. I got kicked out of the game. It exits the game completely, by the way. You can't evade death. Well, actually, you can with the system death rejection system. 50% chance to have the system save you. Just like, how in solo leveling, the system wants me alive, the system wants me strong or something. I don't know. I'm rewatching solo leveling and I forgot everything about season 1 already. You come back from the dead. The system keeps you alive. The fight is obviously over. You've lost your dungeon key if you was doing a dungeon. But you don't lose your stats. You're still alive. You're fine now. You're back. But now you know if I don't train, that 50% chance may never come again. I may just die next time. And that's scary. Because let's say you spend an hour playing the game, it's permadeath, and you don't get lucky enough for the system to save you. Yeah, you're dead. That whole entire hour you spent, bye bye. And don't think of that as don't play the game, man. Come on, just play the game. Bro to bro, just go train or something. It's quick time events, it's fun. Now the final chapter of Veil leveling. Throughout my like no notes, by the way, no noted devlog or something. I don't know. I've literally had no notes. I asked ChatGPT for some help on how to make a devlog, but I've literally had no proper help. It just said, "Here's a strong start." Say, but 4 days ago I started doing this. That's where the intro came from. Anyways, final chapter, whatever. The shop. This part was, I don't know if it was harder than QuickTime events or less hard. I mean, QuickTime events, I literally just fixed it today as well. But like QuickTime events, it was I had to learn something new. But with shops, it was something like, oh God, I have to edit a bunch of my code that doesn't even relate to the shop now. Wow. And I mean, it wasn't that much. My code is perfectly clean. Don't worry. 1,700 lines is clean. Don't worry. But yeah, the shop, since there's multiple item types, there's like healing items because they all use different templates for the items. Like healing items, they have healing amount, but they're the same as the item data, which doesn't have a healing amount. And then weapons, they have damage. But the reason why I done it like that instead of just being like, maybe an extra comma or something, an extra array, or like optional in or something, I don't know, is because now with that, I can add as many things as I want to weapons. I can be like agility boost, so you can land more heavy attack. And yes, agility. I forgot to say. I don't know if I said this, but agility increases your chance to land a heavy attack, and perception increases your chance to automatically dodge an attack. Which dodging attacks, it feels so cool. I don't know why. Whenever a boss dodges my attack, I feel like, oh god, it's over because he can still attack me. I just went up, bam. Okay, I just hit my headphone. I don't know if that made sound, but I went bam to the boss, and next thing I know, weave. I'm dead because he's gonna land a heavy attack now, and I'm finished. It's over and wraps. I'm dead. Right? Dodging makes you really want to train perception to the max. There is no max. You can train your stats up until infinite. Alright, if you want go full strength. But yeah. And with that, that's combat. I don't know what I was saying earlier. Holy memory. But shops. Yeah, items have, other data types and all that. So I had to like kind of code in a way for the shop that it lists out every single item type. So normal items, I didn't make weapons buyable. Um, yeah. So the shop, I had to, code multiple shops kind of in a way like basically I have a function to display items inside of a container, and you have to write that multiple times now because you got healing items and normal items. So then, yeah. And then you also have the fact that with that, I had to make a whole new function just for shop items and add an integer that's like starter number, just so I don't have to edit the rest of my code. I am lazy. Okay, I'm lazy. Shut up. Don't disturb me. Right? But yeah. And then with that, before I added the start number thing, basically what would happen is it lists out all the healing items and then it lists out the normal items, but that starts at 1 as well. But the issue is when you're inputting what item you want to like buy in this case, um it will say 1, but in reality it's like a 9 or something. But yeah. And then the worst part, the part where I went through, do I keep my code clean or and like just kill my mind, or do I keep it dirty, copy paste my code multiple times? And I chose the clean option. My head hurts even right now. And with buying and selling, I asked the user, do you want to buy or sell? Right? And the thing is, I had to make a whole entire new function, quote unquote clean code. I have 1,000 functions. But yeah, the user just chooses to buy or sell. I forgot how I made it. I'm gonna be so real. My brain is that destroyed from it. Trauma. But yeah, it literally just asks you if you want to buy or sell. You say buy, then it provides a string to the handling shop function. And if you choose buy, then it's like, okay, let's call the buy function now. And then if you choose to sell, okay, let's call the sell function now. And then with selling, I was um, like I basically give the item you're buying or selling as a parameter, right? And then I was like, item dot amount minus equals 1. Guess what? I get 1,000 errors. Not 1,000, but like, error. It doesn't work. So then I have to make a whole new function called remove item. Then I have to code that and then do this and that. And then I eventually spend an hour just on buying and selling. Anyways, that's enough of the shop because I just stopped the video again because I don't know what I was about to say. And yeah, anyways, final chapter, code optimization, cleaning up the code. This was, for some reason, the most dopamine full experience. Even though I didn't even clean my code that much, I just basically, at the top of my code, I had a bunch of structures, if you don't know how to code. I think that's what it stands for. I'm stupid, okay? I just code. I don't know what anything means. I don't look at documents. I just code. I just Alright, that's all I do. But I basically had it all at the top. So 26 weapons in the game, right? And they were all at the top of this code. And that's not a problem because I use regions a lot. I can close my code whenever I want. I can hide specific parts whenever I want, all that, right? So regions, perfect, right? And the issue with that is it's still lines of code. If I ever open every single bit of my code with Control M and Control O, then it gets a bit messy, I guess. And it's harder to manage when you're seeing every single other bit of your code at the bottom. It's nice to have something specified just for items, something specified just for stats. And then I was like the ChatGPT, how can I, separate my files, make multiple files to store structures and data and all that, like player data. And it was like .h files. What's a .h file? And then this was at like 1 a.m. or 2 a.m. on my phone, so I don't remember too much, but yeah. It was like you can just make .h files, put pragma once on the top and then just write everything in there. And then what you do in your main script is you do include quote instead of, smaller than, less than, whatever sign, right? And then, yeah, you just write the file name. That's all. And you literally have access to everything. You don't even have to edit your code. If I was to do this in Roblox, I have to go to the top of the script and then I write the module's name. And I'm like, the module name dot this function. But I can just be like, this .h file I include at the top, and now it's as if it's literally a part of the code. Like the things inside of the .h file is literally just as if I didn't even remove it. So that just saved a bunch of space on the top. And next thing you know, I just got a bunch of stuff now. Like I can just put everything inside of my .h files and bang. I don't even have to store my enemies inside of areas. You know the functions for areas like enter city function. I store every single enemy and boss inside of that function at the like top of the function. At the end of the day, and the end of this really crappy devlog where I'm gonna randomly put gameplay for no apparent reason. I mean, I guess I learned C++ in 4 days, enough to make a whole entire RPG game for no apparent reason. Okay, I'm not gonna open my camera because I'm boiling, and I'm doing this after actually recording. It's been a few hours. I haven't even touched editing because remove from checklist. Go into game. Alright, yeah, I want to become a player. Failed to load game, don't worry about that. It's because there's no save file yet. Alright, this is my current stats, right? And then let's, equip this. I don't know if I saved the equipped weapon. I forgot to do that, I think. But then let's train, do some strength. Yep. Okay. And then my new current stats, right? Keep that in mind. Keep that in mind. I do save and exit. The game automatically saves anyways when you enter this menu. Show stats, done. And the whole entire player, would you like to become a player thing doesn't show either. I just need to save the equipped weapon. But other than that, I have completed saving.